Hello girlies, welcome to a new video, my first video, actually. Sorry, I gave myself the ick there for a sec, that was gross. Anyway, welcome to my first video. Hello, my name is Kaden, and I'm gonna be your host today. Sorry for the light in the background, I'm gonna try and block her out. But I don't want to turn the overhead light on. Anyway, she's gonna be a bit of an issue throughout this video, but ignore her. So yeah, my name is Kaden, and I am starting a bookish YouTube channel because I love to read. Yeah, so I'm going to start off with a mid-year check-in, which is crazy because I have literally not filmed any videos this year. Well, I filmed them, but then I didn't realize that I could edit on iMovie on my iPad. Yeah. Which, by the way, is what I'm doing. I'm going to be editing this video on iMovie by myself. So apologies in advance if there's any editing issues, but yeah. So we're gonna start off with a mid-year check-in as the first video on this channel because I feel like it. No, because I want you guys to like maybe get to know my reading tastes a little bit, get to know what I like, what I don't like. Yeah, that sort of thing. So, yeah, by the way, I did steal pretty much this whole tag. Oh, sorry, my Siri was active. Sorry. Anyway, my laptop was freaking the fuck out. Oh yeah, I can curse now. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. I pretty much stole this whole, like, list of questions from this creator right here. From Haley. I love her, by the way. She's a queen, but yeah. Go check hers out. She just posted her mid-year check-in, so yeah. Anyway. Pardon. So yeah, okay. Let's get started, because I'm gonna try and film this before my family decides to go to bed, because it is 10:30 at night. Yeah, which, by the way, I look a hot mess right now, and that's why. So yeah, okay. We're gonna start off with the first question, which is the best book you've read this year. So, the best book I've read this year, which it was very hard to figure this out because I've read a lot of books this year that I've loved, but I wouldn't pick them as, like, my best. But I remembered... Okay, I need to stop. But I remembered one, and that was Found by Todd Rigney. It is this book. I really hope that there's a book cover here. But yeah, it's this book. And it is basically about this boy named Marty who... He's in the 5th grade, and, like, he's kind of... You know, nerdy little awkward kid. He loves horror movies, and a little fun fact about him, his brother collects severed heads in a bowling ball bag. Yeah. So, okay. What I loved about this book is that it was a very well-written, like, coming-of-age horror story, because Marty is such a realistically, like, written 5th grade character, and he's also, like, you know, dealing with his brother collecting severed heads, and his brother, by the way, is a terrifying character. My lord. But, yeah, it's a very, just memorable, such a well-written book. I loved it. I ate it up. Speaking of eating, you probably shouldn't do that before or after reading the ending of this book, because I finished this book next to my mom while we went to go, like, pick my sister up from her cheer class, or did we just sit through the whole thing outside in the car? One of those, but, yeah, I was just reading on the Kindle app on my phone, finishing this book, because I needed to, and then I got to the ending, and it's really disturbing, really disgusting, loved it, such a strong, jaw-dropping ending. And when I finished it, by that time we had picked up my sister and were in the McDonald's drive-thru getting food. So amazing timing on my end, but like, yeah, so would highly recommend if you're into like coming of age horror or just like disturbing books. Amazing. And it's also a very short read. But yeah, okay, I need to move on. It's 5 minutes into this video. I don't want y'all sitting here for an hour. Okay, so my worst book was The Slob by Aaron Beauregard, which I actually have right here. I want to burn this book. By the way, I'm not in support of burning books, banning books, censorship of any kind, but this book, I just want, like, I want to rip it apart with my bare hands. I hated this. So, this is about this woman named Vera who's, like, a clean freak because she had a traumatic childhood, and then she becomes a vacuum, like, cleaner saleswoman, goes to this really mysterious guy's house, walks in, even though shit ton of red flags, and gets kidnapped, gets tortured. The whole book, and yeah. And there's a sequel, which I hate. I'm never touching that sequel, no matter how much my brain tells me I want to. Because I don't want to touch the sequel. I just, like, feel bad leaving a story, like, half finished, but I do not want to give any more money to this author. Or my time, quite frankly, which sucks because I actually do have another one of his books that I will be reading in a future vlog. But yeah, sorry, I'm like out of breath because I'm ranting. This book is essentially just like a man basically writing torture porn fantasies about what he wants to do to women. And I fully believe that because why would you write such horrible, like, misogynistic shit? That's literally what this book is. And if you think I'm fucking crazy for that, and I'm sensitive because it's extreme horror, I've read a good extreme horror. Not a single fucking complaint. Okay, but like this is garbage. There's so much misogynistic shit, even just like casually mentioned, and it isn't like a, you know, like a part of being disturbing. Yeah. Hated this book. By the way, this taught me the lesson that if a baby is introduced, yeah, by the way, Vera is pregnant. Important to know, trigger warning, because well, I'm not going to go into detail, but, like, trigger warning if you want to read this. I don't know why you would ever. Sorry, I'm, like, jingling. I have a little charm on my bracelet. But yeah, yeah, just, she's pregnant, and I learned my lesson very quickly that if there is somebody who's casually pregnant in an extreme horror book, something terrible is gonna happen. I cannot wait to get rid of that book. Yes, that is my worst book this year. The next two questions, sorry, are about anticipated releases. It's technically one question, but I split it into two on my notes. So it is most anticipated releases that you currently own / that are currently out now, and then most anticipated releases that are not yet out. So the ones that are currently out / I currently own are Funny Story by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry so much. I love her books. I've read 2 of them so far. I've read Book Lovers and I've read People We Meet on Vacation, both of which I rated 5 stars. I love them so much. And then I have Happy Place up on my shelf over here. And I think I'm gonna get to that in like a week or two, hopefully. Yeah. So I love her stuff. I'm very excited for her new release. I've already heard some mixed reviews though, so I'm hoping I'm in the part that love it. I'm in the group who loves it. Okay. Oh, not going on in the next category yet. Sorry, I have 2 more books to talk about. One is Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. This is like a family drama. What are the comp titles? It's The Exorcist meets The Haunting of Hill House, which sounds so good. I am really excited to read this. I've heard pretty great stuff. I've heard that's kind of like a family drama, like family vacation, family drama, and like haunting. I live for family drama, by the way, so yeah. Also, I do have, let me actually grab it really quick. I forgot to grab it. This, but I have Loot by Jennifer Thorne, which is which is her only other like adult horror book. Yeah. And this is like, oh my god, what is it? Midsummer meets Final Destination. And I am a little bit into it. You can't see where my bookmark is, but like I'm through the first chapter and I'm planning to finish this hopefully before I leave for Spain. So yeah. Yeah. And then when I come back, I'm gonna devour Diavola. Or I'll take this with me. I don't know. But yeah. Okay, and then I'm just gonna chuck these on my bed. Give me a sec. Then my last anticipated book is Piglet by Lottie Hazel. All I know is this is about a woman and her relationship with food. Okay, little bit of like a TMI thing, but like I have not always had the best relationship with food. In middle school, and honestly still to this day, I've struggled with like body image issues, so like I don't know, I'm hoping this is gonna be like a very therapeutic, very cathartic book. Yeah, also look at this fucking cover art. I need to stop saying the F word so hard. YouTube. Anyway, it's stunning. I love it. It's like hand painted. Yeah. I love it. I'm hoping to get to this sometime soon. Ugh. I felt so bad about throwing that one. Oh yeah. I was like trying to remember what was next. Okay, now are the ones that I do not own or that are not out yet. My lord. And I only have two. So the first one is Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. Sorry, I love his name so much that it's so silly, it's so goofy. I love it. So Chuck Tingle, he's kind of like he's most well known for like his goofy little like silly not serious romance novels. And recently started actually making very like serious novels that have been traditionally published. The last one was Camp Damascus, which I really want to read this year. But yeah, or I'll put it over here. Yeah. But yeah, so Bury Your Gaze, I don't really know what it's about, but it's queer, about horror, and it's Chuck Tingle, who is also like, I believe based on his book titles, I haven't really read most of his stuff, but I'm pretty sure him and I like follow close politically, so like I'm praying it's gonna be good. Yeah. Next up is The Queen by Nick Cutter. Yeah, so okay, I love Nick Cutter as an author. He is the author of The Troop in the Deep. I could get the physical books. I don't want to get up right now though. So, but yeah, and like one other book, I forget the name of it, but I'm not gonna put it on screen because it's lesser known. Anyway, it's also just too much work. But yeah, so not Prom Queen, The Queen. Yeah, it's just another like Nick Cutter release. I love him. I love his stuff. Will say I'm a bit nervous because it does follow a female main character, and he hasn't like his writing women is questionable at times. But like I don't know, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm hoping I'm gonna devour it because it sounds very interesting. I don't remember like the synopsis at all. I feel so bad, but like yeah. Yeah, so there's that. Sorry, I like glitched. I'm tired. I haven't even taken my melatonin yet. I'm gonna go do that, and then we're gonna get into the next category. Just you wait. Okay, so next question is the biggest disappointment of 2024. Y'all, I'm sorry, I just need to rant about this fucking book I need to stop saying the F word. Oh my god. It is The Handyman Method by Nick Cutter and Andrew F. Sullivan. I know I was just talking about how much I love Nick Cutter, and honestly, that's what made this such a disappointment. Okay, so The Handyman Method is basically The Shining movie, but like suburban. It's like also an Amityville kind of wannabe, but like it's like Andrew F. Sullivan. I'm blaming him on this for a reason that I'll get to in a moment. It's like Andrew F. Sullivan saw The Shining and was like, what if we make that Amityville? Or like suburban, so we can call it Amityville inspired. And nobody's really gonna notice The Shining, that I just watched The Shining and like wanted to write it. Which, by the way, The Shining, the movie, does not work in book form, and I know that because I've seen The Shining, and if I had to read the book version of that movie, I wouldn't. The Shining, the book, is amazing though. 5 stars, love that. So yeah, anyway. I right off the bat started to hate this. There is so much wrong with this too. So, like I said, I'm blaming Andrew F. Sullivan for this mostly because throughout the book, I didn't recognize too much to be Nick Cutters aside from like the kind of like weird cosmic like sci-fi almost horror that I immediately clocked as Nick Cutters. Everything else, Andrew F. Sullivan. Because oh my god, like I don't this is awful. This is so misogynistic and like so much toxic masculinity. By the way, it happens start of the book. Start of the book, we're immediately given this character Trent, who's just like the worst guy. I DNF'd this, by the way. I should probably add that. I DNF'd this, but I read 3 parts of this book. There's 4 parts. So I've read enough to know that this book is terrible, okay? Yeah, I absolutely am just so upset because, like, it's so much misogyny and toxic masculinity immediately at the jump of the book, and then later it tries to play it off like it's The Shining, and it's like, oh my god, the house is influencing me. No, it's not. You're just a terrible person. Sorry, I'm, like, screaming, but it pissed me off. I wasted too much of my damn time on this. Hated it. Hated it. Get it out of my face. I'm gonna give it away. By the way, this is also the only book that I've screamed about twice, pretty much now thrice. But I was like in the shower, home alone, 2 days in a row because I read like a part a day. And every time I was like talking to myself and I started yelling about this book. Like, I hate it. It's literally like everything that's wrong with horror written by men. Anyway, okay. Ooh, actually, okay, now we get a positive review, guys, because now we get my biggest surprise this year. And that is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. Tintura. So, let me give you the little story behind this book, so that way you understand why this was my biggest surprise, okay? Pardon, sorry. Anyway, so I started reading, backtrack. I bought this book, that's what I was trying to say. I bought this book from Book of the Month, obviously, in like March, I think. That's when it was one of the Book of the Month picks. And I actually like got this kind of on accident because I saw no other good Book of the Month picks, and there was another book I wanted to buy that month, so I just picked this. And I didn't realize that actually one of my most anticipated reads was on there, so that sucked. But it actually didn't, because now I own Listen for the Lie, and I loved this book because I saw Haley, the same person who I'm doing this video based off of. I was inspired by her video to make this video. That's what I was trying to say. She gave this a glowing review, and I trust that woman's tastes with my life. So I put the audiobook on hold, which it took me like a solid month or 2 to get the audiobook, and that's also how I knew it was gonna be good. And it was. I rated this 4.5 stars. I think 4.75. This is amazing. This is a thriller about this woman named Lucy who her best friend was murdered 5 years ago. And she's the primary suspect because a lot of evidence is leading towards her being the perpetrator. But the thing is, she doesn't remember anything about that night. So 5 years later, she's brought back into town by her grandmother, and she basically agrees to do a podcast because this podcaster is in town at the same time. She goes back to her hometown. I should probably say that. Yeah. And she starts to solve the murder with him. And this was such a good fucking book. Okay, let me notes. Okay, so first of all, the writing style of this was amazing. It's very like funny and just like, because our main character, she doesn't really take anything seriously. Like, she takes fun in like fucking messing with people. She takes a lot of joy in that because obviously she's like, okay, well, if you're gonna treat me like a villain all the time, I'm gonna be a bitch to you, because why not? Like, screw you. So yeah, she's like, it literally, the book starts off with her getting fired, and she's like, like in her head, she's like, thank God, because I hate this job. And she goes into an elevator with the security guard. This is like when news of the podcast is coming out, by the way. That's why she's fired, but yeah. And he's like, so did you do it? And she's like, I don't know. Literally turns to him and is basically just like, I don't know. Like, I would tell you if I knew, dog. What? And like, just all the characters are so silly. I love it. The grandma in this book, she has my heart. I love her. Also, okay, I need to move on to more stuff about this book, because there's actually obviously I read this with the audio. Loved the audio, so well produced. The narrator really brought Lucy to life. And oh yeah, by the way, Lucy is like the baddest bitch out there. Cause okay, this is like a mini spoiler, but it's not that bad. So like at the end, you know how at the end of every thriller book, there's like a confrontation scene where like the female main character is like confronted by the murderer and she realizes who it is, and it's like, oh, I gotta run for my life. No, our main character chooses to fight the perpetrator because she's like, honestly, screw you. I'm done. Like, running. I'm done. You messed up the past 5 years of my life. We're fighting. And she whoops their ass. So, yeah. Also, this book has amazing commentary on DV, or, you know, domestic. But, yeah. Like, it was just such a real, like, writing of it. And, okay, another little trauma thing. I, like, kind of grew up around kind of that environment a little bit. So I understand a lot of it, and honestly, this it's just so well written. I appreciated it. I loved it. Yeah. Yeah, so that's in like 2 seconds you're probably going to hear books hit the floor. That's because there's a stack that is just, you can see it right there. It's about to fall off my bed. But anyway, I'm not going to get up and fix it. If it falls, it falls. So, okay. Our next question is new favorite author. So, okay, here's the thing. I've been reading a lot of standalones this year, so I don't really have a new favorite author, but my best answer right now is Christina Henry. So, recently I read Good Girls Don't Die by her, and I loved this book. I literally ate it up in 2 days, and I'm right now reading her next book, The House That Horror Built, for a reading vlog. Also, look at my bookmark. It's Sam from Trick or Treat just peeking out. He's so silly. Anyway, yeah, so, like, yeah. I looked through some of the books she writes, and most of them aren't really appealing to me, but these two, I'm like, if she continues in this direction, I'm gonna keep picking these books up. So far, I'm actually gonna eat this one up, too, I'm pretty sure, but yeah. Christina Henry, so far, is, like, top of my list, one of my favorite authors right now. So, next up, sorry, I'm, like, kind of sick, so I kind of sound like shit. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, next up is newest fictional crushes. 1 second. Oh, because I threw Listen to the Lie aside way too quickly. So, okay, I actually have 2 answers for this. We're gonna get to Listen to the Lie in a second, Because my first answer is Rowan from Butcher and Blackbird. Okay, so I ate this up when I got this book. I devoured it. Rowan is an Irish serial killer, but like not in a creepy dark romance, like I'm gonna violate your boundaries kind of guy. Like he respects the female main character so much, and he loves her so much, and he's also so fine, and he's just, there's so many things about him that I just love. I would do anything for this man. He is, oh gosh, I wish he was real. I need a man like this because he's just so sweet, he's so funny, he respects her boundaries, he it's a little bit of the bare minimum, but anyway, I love him. I love Rowan. He's just my awesome little Irish guy. Yeah. Okay. Next up is the podcaster Ben from Listen for the Lie. Listen, usually podcasters in these thriller books are like low-key kind of icky, but like Ben, I love him. Like he treats our main character like a human when literally nobody else does. Literally everybody thinks that like she's a killer except for her grandmother and Ben. And like kind of some other but anyway, like Ben really sticks up for her throughout the book. He's a silly guy. He's so fine. I love him. Ben and Rowan are like the two men that I need this year. God, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna move on from that. Ooh, actually, fuck, my God. This is the third time in a row that I'm going to be talking about Listen for the Lie, because the next question is your newest favorite characters. Well, I'll start off with Listen for the Lie so I can just get it out of the way. Lucy, the main character, obviously I love her. And also the grandmother, because I kind of realized it when I was talking about her. She's just awesome. I love her. She's the most supportive grandmother, and she's so funny. And like there's a part in the book where Lucy's mom is like going over to the grandmother's house with Lucy, and the grandmother's a bit of an alcoholic, and the mom's like, so, isn't 70 kind of too old to develop a drinking problem? And the grandma's like, what do you mean? It's the perfect time. And I love that. She's like so real. She's the whole reason that Lucy like actually does the podcast too. She basically, a little bit of a mini spoiler, but it's not a huge twist. So like, Lucy finds out that the grandmother was basically dragged, the grandmother dragged Lucy back to Texas for a birthday party that was basically just because the podcaster was in town, and Lucy storms in after like first meeting the guy, and she's like, Grandma, did you really set me up with this guy? And the grandma's like, took you long enough. She just does not give a shit, and she's like, but you're gonna do it for me, right? And Lucy's like, yeah, of course, but like, I'm holding it against you for like 5 minutes. It's so silly. It's so sweet. I love the grandmother. Anyway. Okay, now I'll move on. Okay, because my next answer is every female main character in Good Girls Don't Die. So we have 3. Actually, we have 4, but like 3... yeah, we have 4. I have to relook at her name so I don't say it wrong. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I'm trying to like, okay. So we have Celia, Allie, Maggie, and Sonia. Those are my girls because they're strong, badass, smart women. Allie, she's in like a slasher situation. It's honestly, I'm not gonna re-explain the book right now because I have some other time. But I don't want to explain it now, because I've talked about it way too much for me, and I'm kind of... Anyway, Allie, she's like in a little slasher situation, and she uses her brain to literally keep her dumbass friends alive. She's like, listen, we're not gonna be like every other slasher ass bitch going running out getting killed. And then Maggie, she's just like, I'm gonna do anything for my daughter. I'm gonna be smart. She's in this like Hunger Games Maze Runner kind of stitch. But she's like, I'm gonna use my fucking brains so we don't fucking die. Stop saying the F word. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah. And Celia, oh yeah, and Sonia is also there, and she's smartish. She's really smart too. And Celia, honestly, she doesn't really get her get her moment till the end, so I can't really say too much right now. But yeah, sorry. Anyway, next up is I actually have one more answer for this, and that is the Goddess from Goddess of Filth. So I read this in the beginning of the year, and it's a possession story, but it's actually like really good. It isn't like a, oh my gosh, 12-year-old pure girl gets possessed and starts saying and doing really weird stuff. No, it's like 16-year-old girl gets possessed by a ancient Mexican god or like Aztec god, I believe. And the goddess, she like helps the girl who's being possessed so much, honestly. Like the main girl, she wants to she has a boyfriend and she's kind of, nervous about moving forward in that relationship, we'll say. And the goddess is like, "Really, girl, go do it. You are hot, you are powerful. Don't be scared." Like, and if he does some BS, get up out of there and leave. Or if you're not feeling it, like, you can stop that situation, and I'll make damn sure of that. Like, she like moves on with her boyfriend like that. I just love it. The goddess is so supportive of her. She's like, "Well, I'm gonna make you feel confident in your body. I'm gonna make you honestly do some weird shit too, but that's just so we can like make you look possessed. But like, girl, like, we're gonna make you a bad bitch," and I love that. Okay, so we are gonna get a bit serious now because our next question is a book that made you cry, and I actually have a very like serious book to talk about. So, the last book that made me cry was A Child Called It by David Pelitzer, one of those. Sorry, I don't remember the last name. So yeah. Anyway, this is a book detailing the author's either fully autobiographical or semi-autobiographical child harm that he experienced at the hands of his mother, and it is one of the third worst cases seen in California. So yeah, this is a very heavy book. It details a lot of what the author went through as a child. Yeah, obvious reasons this made me cry, but also there's some kind of like other reasons this made me like at least very sad. So the beginning of the book, if you couldn't have assumed earlier from like what I talked about when I introduced Listen for the Lie and the commentary, I kind of grew up with a pretty shitty, or not a pretty like a kind of shitty dad. So I kind of experienced very, very different. Sorry, I had to make sure my family wasn't going into bed. Kind of like a very lighter version of what this man experienced. But honestly, I think if you've had any sort of experience with like child harm, like growing up, whether that be emotional, mental, whatever, you can still probably relate to this. I specifically related to the start of the book where the main character is going to the office and he has to talk to social security, or not social security, child services. Yeah. I don't know. It just, it brought up a lot of some child memories. Yeah. So very sad, very heavy book. But honestly, a really important one. Also at the end of this book, the author puts like a where he is now in life. And that honestly just like made me so sad to read because while it's a very, like, good, happy ending, it's still, like, I don't fully remember, but, like, there's just one part that I remember making me, like, almost start bawling. It was so good, but so sad. Yeah. So, okay. The next, we get to liven things up now, because the next question is, or prompt is, a book that made you laugh slash happy slash laugh. So for this, I chose The Prom Queen by R.L. Stine. It's this book, and if that title rings in your head, there's a reason. I picked this up because it's being turned into the fourth Fear Street film in the series. I love the original trilogy that Netflix did. I think I still rewatched it with friends. Yeah, so I'm so happy they're making another addition to the movie, to the series. Yeah. So anyway, I rated this like a 3.5 star. Oh yeah, by the way, I rated the last book 5 stars because anyway. But yeah, I rated this 3.5 stars. Like, it is an amazing silly little, like, just like 90s written like teen thriller. And our main character, since this was written in the 90s, our main character, who's written by like an adult man in the 90s, it sounds very like some of her internal dialogue is so silly. Not offensive silly, where it's like she breasted boob, but like she's like, I need to work on my insults, and then she's like, hey, pizza face, got him. Like, it's so silly. And I'm pretty sure she has some pretty, like, out-of-pocket thoughts, too, where it's like, girl, you can't say that. Yeah, not problematically, but, like, girl, you can't say that about your friends. That's awful. Yeah, so, I don't know, just a fun little thriller. It's about this girl named Lizzie, who her and 4 other friends, are chosen to run for prom queen. And the prom queens start getting killed off one by one. It's really fun. I loved it. I devoured it in like 2 sittings, each of which was like an hour and a half long. Like, I flew through this shit. So yeah. Sorry. I'm like, I don't know if I've already said, but I'm like kind of recovering from being sick. So yeah. Oh my lord. Okay. So yeah, next is book 2 TV adaptation, the last one that you watched. I have not seen a single one since Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and that was last year. But I will talk about one that I am going to go see, and that is The Watchers. It's the book by A.M. Shine, and is being directed by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter, which, love that. I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm gonna go see that at some point and read the book. Maybe do like a comparison between the two. That might be fun. But yeah. Anyway, I don't really have an answer outside of that. Next is the most beautiful book on your shelves. This one, I'm embarrassed to say, is Gothicana by Runix. Listen, okay, I need to clarify something. I did not like this book in like the way that people liked Haunting Adeline. They're like, oh my god, amazing romance, and like, no, I liked this book in the sense of like, it's like watching the first season or 2 of Riverdale. Like, I know it's objectively bad, but I'm gonna watch it because it's fun and mindless. That's what I did for Gothicana. I turned my mind off and just skimmed, like, only really read the dialogue and just had a decent time. But yeah, anyway, I'm not really gonna explain what this is about. It's like just a teacher-student relationship, and it's like, gothic, but like gothic written by somebody who listens to Taylor Swift and like only her religiously type of vibes. Like, just go to the playlist for the book that was like published by the author. It's so like, you'll understand, But yeah, it is unfortunately a very beautiful book. So, beautiful looking, let me clarify. Yeah, so there's that. Alright, now we are on to our last prompt of the video, and that is need to read by the books you need to read by the end of the year. I don't really have an exact answer for this, so I'll kind of like summarize. Not summarize, but like I'll give bullet point type answers. So I need to read my thickest books this year. I'm gonna be ambitious. I'm gonna try and read It, A Little Life, House of Leaves, Priory of the Orange Tree, Secret History, and Goldfinch. Those are my like the 7 really big books that I really want to finish. I need to finish the ACOTAR series because I bought my mom paid like $70 for the box set at Target, and I feel bad if I do not finish it. So yeah. All the books that my friends have given me, I have a dedicated shelf. Some of them I've owned for, not owned, I borrowed for like 2 years plus. No, just 2 years. Yeah, so I need to get through those. Next is any new release horror thriller books that I'm excited about. And then I really want to read hopefully all of Riley Sager's books, but if not all, then at least most of them this year. I'm gonna do, when I get back from Spain next month in July, I'm going to hopefully do a reading vlog or like a taste test kind of reading vlog, seeing if Riley Sager and I click. But yeah, and then last but not least, I need to finish all of Grady Hendrix's books. I have read 1, 2, 3, 4. I've read 4 of the 8 that I plan to read. It just isn't including any like short story collections he's in, or like any like releases I wouldn't find in B&N. Yeah. Because I don't want to pay money on Kindle for those. So yeah. So I have to read Paperbacks from Hell. Oh my god, what is it? We Sold Our Souls, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and one more. Or maybe it's, oh no, Horror Store 2. That is the last one. Yeah. So yeah. So thank you. I did a Shane Dawson face. Ugh, put me down. Anyway, thank you all for staying this far if you did. Yeah, I'm hoping that this is the start of like a long like booktube career. I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, if you liked this video, you should leave a like for me. At least, like, you know, maybe help me boost this video to other people who might like that. I don't know, man. I'm new to YouTube. I say that like I haven't been watching it since I was like a child, but yeah. Like, I'm new to making YouTube videos, but I'm not new to the bookish community and stuff. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah. I'm hoping to become like a solid place in the community. So yeah, stick around if you like horror, thriller, or just really any other kind of bookish content. Yeah. Yeah. If you like that stuff, subscribe to yeah. Oh, and oh my gosh, I almost forgot about this, and I was gonna be so mad at myself, but I'm gonna plug my TikTok because that is like my biggest social media platform. So, and that's where I was before I've come to YouTube. Pretty much like this is my thing now, hopefully. But yeah. So yeah, there's my TikTok down below. I have like 2 years worth of bookish content before this. If you like this, but like want to see more sooner, go watch some of my videos that I have out now. I still have book reviews. I have reading disturbing book videos. Yeah. Yeah, I also have movie videos, which I also may bring over to here. We'll see. But anyway, yeah. So that wraps up this video. Thank you all for being here. I love you all. Goodbye.